So this is the second and final part of the gear failure story. I talked in part one about the gear pump light running. In this part, we see where the gear hydraulic fluid pressure was lost and the gear just kind of came down by themselves. You can see the hydraulic fluid leaking out from behind the nose gear there. I wasn't aware that this had happened when I was flying. I was in a descent, and so I didn't really realize what was going on. When I got to the final approach fix to go down, I put the flaps down, reduced the power, and started trying to put the gear down. And the gear lever was floppy, and I noticed that the up and the down lights were not on, and also that the gear pump running light was on. I reset the breaker and then kind of figured out that I needed to pump this stuff down. So the breaker was off, and I went ahead and pumped the gear down. The first few pumps were very soft, and I was a little concerned about that, but eventually I was able to build up some pressure, probably with a combination of air and a little bit of hydraulic fluid in the system, and get them to lock, and the gear down light was on. But I was still a little concerned that I might have a problem on landing because I didn't really understand what had happened to the system. So this is the rest of the approach into Friday Harbor after that gear failure. After I land, there is a piece about what the actual failure was and some video of that. When I got out of the plane, there was a lot of hydraulic fluid underneath it, dripping mainly from right behind the nose gear. And so put the plane away. And the next morning, I was lucky to have my mechanic there take a look at it with me. We opened up the panel to the nose gear actuator, and that's where all the fluid was coming from. We refilled the reservoir and pressurized it by hand pumping and found that the leak was coming from this starboard pressure hose. So a new one of those is on order.